Are you someone who wants to build a property portfolio that pays your passive income each and every month? Well, then if so, this episode is for you, because today I'm going to outline the 3 biggest mistakes I've seen people make. Hi, my name's Nero from Investment Rise, and I'm someone who's been investing now for the last 19 years all over the country. And over the last 11 years, I've been helping people invest in property. And so what I want to share here is the 3 biggest mistakes I've seen people make. And look, personally, I made at least 2 of these mistakes when I first started my investing journey, and it cost me both time and money. So I really hope that the lessons that I'm able to, share with you from both my experience and from hearing from others will help you achieve your property investing goals faster. So, mistake number 1. And this might sound counterintuitive, but when you're looking to build passive income through property, the first mistake I see so many people make is they focus on positive cash flow at the expense of capital growth. Now, look, I understand that in 2021, house markets almost all across the country have risen in value. Yes, absolutely they have. But remember, property investing is a long-term game, okay? And so some of the markets that have risen in the last 12 months, they're not going to be long-term capital growth players, right? A lot of them are already starting to hit their peak, and now they're going to go flat for an extended period of time, okay? So now you might be wondering, well, hold on, if I want to build passive income through property, why wouldn't I focus on positive cash flow first and not really worry about capital growth, right? Well, let me give you an example that hopefully will illustrate that. Let's just say you find an investment property, and looking at the numbers, it's going to give you $600 positive cash flow per month, okay? That's a pretty good deal. And so I see people then will just jump into that kind of a property. Great, but if it doesn't grow in value, right? So let's just say it's the same price that you bought it for even in 5 years' time. And sure, it's giving you positive cash flow of $600 a month, but you will need obviously more than $600 a month to achieve your passive income goals, whatever those goals are. So the question then is, how do you go to property number 2? Well, you're either going to have to go back and take equity out of your home, or you're going to have to keep saving, okay? But most people are not in a position where they can keep saving up chunks of cash for a deposit to get another property. Okay, and I've seen many investors do this where they get maybe 1, maybe 2 properties that are positively cash flow, maybe even a third, and they're getting $1,500 a month positive cash flow, sure, but then they run out of money in terms of being able to save more or get equity to buy additional properties, and then they get stuck because if the property hasn't risen in value, they can't sell it for what they paid for it and get their full money back rather, because remember, when you buy a property, you essentially need to rise by about 5% just to get your money back, right? Because when you buy a property, you pay stamp duty, you pay legals. When you sell the property, you've got to pay agents fees, etc. Right? So you do need the property to rise in value a little bit just to get your money back. But if there's been virtually no rise in the property, you can't sell the property to get your money back, or you've got to take a loss, okay? And so you end up in a situation where you actually run out of money. You've almost got to take a loss and restart your journey, all right? So you really want to be looking at finding areas that, yes, will give you some sort of positive cash flow, but also ensure that you are looking at the fundamental drivers for capital growth, supply and demand, good jobs growth, infrastructure in investment, okay? Those are some of the criteria you want to be looking at in addition to the positive cash flow. Now, if you want to discover a full blueprint on how to build a property portfolio that pays your passive income each and every month, then go to Nero Book, that's Niro Book, BOOK, nerobook.com.au to get a copy of my book, Wake Up Wealthier, How to Build a Property Portfolio That Pays You a Passive Income Every Month, totally for free. You can get both the digital version and the audio version as well. So if you're looking for a full blueprint on how to build a passive income through property, then you really want to go to nerobook.com.au and get a copy of my book totally for free while you still can. Now, let's go back and look at the second mistake most people make when looking to build passive income through property. Then we come to mistake number 2 when you're looking to build passive income, right? And it's probably one of the biggest ones I've seen is this. It's not checking the vacancy rate, all right? To me, it doesn't matter how good the property might look on paper. It doesn't matter how good someone who's trying to sell you the property says, oh, look, here's the price, and here's the rental returns, and this is going to be your return on cash, or this is going to be whatever, and they'll start throwing some fancy terms on you. Okay, to me, none of that matters. I want to look at the vacancy rate. Okay, because here's the thing: if you can't get your property rented quickly and for the expected rent, your entire property investing strategy is going to go pear-shaped. All right? Okay? You're going to either have to bring down your rent or worse, suffer through long periods of time where you get zero rent at all. And so now this property that was supposed to be positively cash flowed is now becoming a cash flow sinkhole because you need to fund the mortgage from your own income. All right? Because there's no tenant income, because there's no rent, because there are no tenants. All right, so you really want to make sure you're looking at the vacancy rates and then to support that, look at the supply and demand. I've spoken in past episodes about how there are certain areas right around the country that are looking to become oversupplied, and especially in the unit market. And I know that a lot of investors out there look at units because they think that's going to give them better cash flow. Think again, really do your due diligence there. But essentially, if you don't check the vacancy rate, you're playing Russian roulette with your investing strategy because you have no idea how easy it is going to be to get a tenant, how quickly you can replace a tenant if the tenant moves, and how are you then going to be able to rely on that cash flow for your property investing journey, your financial journey, if you're planning on building a property portfolio that gives you passive income so that you can retire off. You need to make sure you've checked these things so you can rely on that rental income coming through. Then we get to mistake number 3, and it's not focusing on the cash flow numbers and instead looking at a good rental return. Okay, I see so many people say, oh, look, I'm looking for this property and it's giving me a good rental return. Okay, now to me, I have no idea what that means, all right? Because I can tell you this, for example, what's a good rental return in Melbourne is horrendous in Brisbane. Okay, I mean, I've spoken about in the past how Melbourne and Victoria in general have the lowest rental returns in the country right now. Okay, so a good rental return is based on what? What makes a good rental return, right? What I'm looking for instead is what is the actual cash flow of the property. So what is the actual rent? What are your ongoing costs? And that's the other thing I see people forget is that they don't take into account that when you have a property over time, especially if you're buying an older property, over time, there are going to be ongoing costs, whether that's in any kind of maintenance costs, right? And so it's no point getting a property that might be paying you $600 a month, positive cash flow, and sure, over the year, that's over $7,000, awesome. But then if you've got to pay $3 or $4 in maintenance costs because things are breaking down or whatever else, it's really going to eat into your cash flow, right? I have seen such situations where people have positive cash flow properties and the cash flow is so good, yes, but then they have a year where something breaks substantial and their cost to replace it doesn't just eat up their entire cash flow. They've got to put in extra because the expense is more than the actual cash flow returns. Right? So you've got to do your numbers. You've got to allow for these things because property investing is a long-term game. It's one of the reasons why we focus quite heavily on newer properties because you're not going to have, or there's far less risk of having those ongoing maintenance costs to eat into your cash flow. Okay, so definitely, these are, I think, the 3 biggest mistakes you want to avoid. Number 1, focusing on rather cash flow rather than capital growth. Number 2, not checking the vacancy rate. And then number 3, not doing your cash flow numbers correctly, right? And if you are serious about building a property portfolio that pays you a passive income each and every month, if you want a full blueprint, then for a limited time, I'm offering my book, Wake Up Wealthier, How to Build a Property Portfolio That Pays You Income Every Month, for free when you click the link below this video or in the description. All right. Now, when you do that, you get not just the digital version, you also get the audio version as well, in case you don't like reading. All right. Now, I used to sell this book for $47, and that's actually what people paid to get the book. This is not just a made up what I think is valued at. That's what people actually paid. So why am I offering it for free? Well, for two reasons. Number one, right now I am seeing so much misinformation out there. I see a lot of stuff in the mainstream media about, is the property market going to crash, and stuff about interest rates and all this sort of stuff that's, I think, going to scare a lot of people, and a lot of people won't move forwards with their investing. But remember, as a property investor, you need to understand there are going to be times when interest rates fall, interest rates rise, and you need to know how to navigate that over, say, a 10-year period, because property investing is a long-term game. And so I talk about some of the things that you can do to mitigate these factors and can keep growing your portfolio in my book, plus a whole raft of other things. So that's the first reason, is I want to kind of help people cut through some of the misinformation. But the second reason is because I know that a number of people who then read the book will reach out to us to gain our assistance. So this is how we grow our membership base, how we then help our clients do the full end-to-end thing, from finding the properties, getting the loans done, finding the right property managers, all of that, right? But of course, if you then choose to not reach out to us, that's totally fine. The book is still an absolute blueprint. That's why I used to be able to sell it for $47, because it's not just a typical book that is a bit of fluff, some nice inspirational stories, and then doesn't give you anything. This is a full blueprint that you can follow to help you achieve your property investing goals. So if that's what you want, look, click the link below this video, or go to Niro Book at Niro Book, BOOK, nirobook.com.au to get your free copy. Now, I'm only doing this for a limited time, so if you click the link or go to nirobook.com.au and you see that it's back to its old price, that means you've missed this special. So don't delay, go to nirobook.com.au or click the link below this video and get your free copy while you can.